But first, I want to say thank you to all of you out there who sent us Christmas cards and gifts and packages and just wished us well and express how grateful you are that your lives are changing and that you are being helped. And you show a great appreciation to all of us here at the Jesse Lee Peterson Show and Bond and the Fallen State. So thank you for that. I do not take that for granted. Matter of fact, it was overwhelming. So thank you. I had no idea. Really, I had no idea. So thank you from all of us. I'm sure you'll be hearing from the other guys as they do their shows today. But thank you from all of us. And this year, you have my word that we all will give you our best. We will give you our best. We're going to continue to work on ourselves so that we can give the best to you as well. So that we can give the best to you. And I understand, and those who are waking up are starting to understand that our battle is a spiritual battle. It's a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. It's a spiritual battle. It's not physical at all, zero. And those who are working on themselves are starting to see that. So we're going to continue to work on ourselves. And for those who want it around the world, I hope you continue to work on yourself. You are responsible for you, and no one else is. We had an amazing year last year working on self. Some people stood with it, stayed with it, and some didn't. And that's just how it is on this journey. Some will start it and fall away. Some will start and they get way down the road and be distracted and taken away either by the spirit of evil in their minds or from other people who don't want them to succeed. They want to keep people in hell with them by attacking them or whatever they do, right? And so some people get distracted by that. But there are the few men and women who say, you know what? Nothing's stopping me. I'm not going back into that hell. And they lose it all for what is right, for the truth. They lose their family members. They lose their so-called friends, relationships, and everything. And you may have to pay that price for what is right. What does it profit a man that he doesn't give up the world? You got to give up the world in order to see the world. You got to let it go. You know what I mean? And so we're going to do it this year. It was an amazing year last year. The women's forum, men's forum, Sunday services, counseling, all that stuff. It was an amazing year, and it went by just like that. And so I want to encourage you to stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. I don't care who says what about you, or who turn against you, or who stand with you. Be willing to get on that straight and narrow and stand alone. Really, just stand alone. Because no one can travel this path with you anyway. You must be willing. As a matter of fact, for those who love their parents, you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. You got to give up your parents and everybody for this. You can't love your parents and love what's right at the same time. So you got to get it all up. Isn't that amazing? You got to let it all go. You got to give up a life in order to have life. You got to give up the phony life to have the real deal. And believe me, I'm saying this, but it doesn't have to be this way, what I'm about to say. It's a hard journey. It is not easy. But yet it is easy. And the reason not easy, because we have so many false identities and so many things that we're looking for that get in the place of what is right. It take the place. And most people don't want to give up the false self. Who will I be if I'm not angry? Who will I be if I'm not jealous and revengeful and want to hurt others? Who will I be if I'm not looking for love, if I'm not this, I'm not that? And they don't want to give up a life. But ain't no way around it. If you want a life, you got to give up the false life. You got to let it go. That is the way it is. And when you let that false life go, perfect peace will be yours. The kingdom of heaven is on the other side of hell. You got to go through hell. The hell that's in you. Because it's all inside of you. Isn't it amazing? And so I wish you well this year according to Matthew 7:13-14. This is just a reminder for you to stay on that straight and narrow path. Enter by the narrow gates. That's the road that leads to destruction is wide and spacious. And many take it. But it is a narrow gate and a hard road that leads to life. And only a few find it. That is the truth. It's so amazing that you have to have a made-up mind. A made-up mind. So I want to encourage you to get on that straight and narrow. Just stay there. Because one thing for sure, and without a doubt, you're living on hell. Earth is hell. Or it could be heaven for you. It's already hell for you, but you can overcome the hell, and earth can be paradise right here. Earth can be heaven for you or hell. And for all people, until they let go of the anger and return to love, is hell for them. Pure hell. Don't tell me you ain't catching hell right now. You woke up this morning deciding who can I hate? Who can I be mad at? Who can I judge? All for the thrill of it, for your hell. Because that's your nature. You have no love. You have zero love. Zero. No such thing as a good human being. It doesn't. There's no good in a human being. So get ready and stay ready. And according to Matthew 10:24 or 20:28, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Fear him rather who can destroy both body and soul in hell. Amazing, huh? Don't fear the one that can destroy the body. Fear those who can destroy the soul. You have your work cut out. It's up to you, but we're going to give you our best. Whatever that is, we're going to give you our best this year. It's been amazing. I had a very, very, very amazing time off. Didn't do a lot, didn't want to do a lot. I did a few things, but not a lot. And it was amazing. I'm back. I'm ready to rock and roll. Some of you know there was a terrorist attack, according to the reports, a terrorist attack in New Orleans yesterday. And I'm not surprised when I heard it. Not surprised. What do you expect to happen? Our borders have been wide open for 4 years, wide open. Our government have invited the people, just come on in, no matter where you are coming from, whomever you are, whatever your intent is, come on down. No problem. We're going to take care of you. We'll feed you. we'll put you up. We'll give you a free phone. We'll give you free education. We'll give you free everything. And we've had our enemies coming in from around the world. So I wasn't surprised about the terrorist attack and wouldn't be surprised if we have more in another, however. Our government have done this to us. The people that you voted for have done this to the American citizens. I remember we used to report on things like this happening in Europe and overseas, all those places. Never imagined that it would happen here because I never imagined that our government, the representatives, were so evil. They only think about themselves and not about we the people at all. And I don't expect them to care about us. I don't need them to care about me. I need them to work for me, to have a strong military to protect us. But that's not the case. I'm thinking that when Trump get in there, it will change it somewhat. But it's a mess. So according to NBC News, at least 15 people were killed and dozens injured in a truck ramming attack on Bourbon Street, New Orleans, earlier Wednesday. Authorities says a 42-year-old man deliberately drove into the New Year's crowd, then opened fire on police before being killed in a shootout. I'm not surprised, not at all. And I doubt, unless your head been buried in the sand for all the last 4 years, I doubt if there's one American citizen who is surprised by this. Really. They have all kind of people in our country now. Look at the crime rate through the roof. And other countries have released their inmates and sent them to our country. And our government love it. The Democrats and the Republicans, especially the right-o Republicans. Be not deceived. The Republicans are not for you either. At least not the right-o ones. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, there would be no Republican Party. It would just be namesake only. That's a rhino. Fox News, an ICE flag was located in the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential association and affiliation with the terrorist organization. Watch this from NBC.
In the opening hours of the new year, terror on the streets of New Orleans. Cell phone video capturing the scene of bodies sprawled out along the city's famed Bourbon Street.
Responses from Allen Bourbon.
The wounded being treated while still laying in the road.
We're dealing with EMS right now. Right now, we're working in a triage area.
Video courtesy of EarthCam showing police racing towards the carnage where a driver plowed his pickup truck into the crowds in the historic French Quarter. In this video, you can see the truck getting around a police cruiser, blocking the entrance to Bourbon, then racing through the street packed with revelers, killing as many as 15 and injuring dozens of others.
He was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did.
Police say the suspect started his attack at 3:15 a.m. local, first using his car as a weapon, mowing people down at high speed on the 3 blocks between Canal and Conti Streets before crashing into a crane. He died in a shootout with police. This video capturing the sound of gunshots. 2 police officers were shot and injured.
Amazing. When I look at that, it looked like it's overseas somewhere, right? But no, it's right here in America, on our land, our soil. Right here. It's not overseas. It's right here. Who would have thought our government would set us up like this? Who would have thought? All for the votes and the money and the free labor. They don't care about anything but themselves. Here's the identity of the suspected driver and the items found in the vehicle. Watch this.
The FBI, the lead agency on the investigation, identified the suspect as 42-year-old Shamshuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas, and they're still hunting additional potential co-conspirators.
We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible.
The FBI says Jabbar was driving a rented Ford pickup truck.
An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations.
The FBI says also found in the truck weapons and an improvised explosive device, plus 2 IEDs found elsewhere in the French Quarter were rendered safe. According to Texas records, Jabbar had 2 misdemeanor charges in his past, one for theft and the other for driving with an invalid license. In a YouTube video posted 4 years ago, Jabbar identifies himself as a realtor and a Texas property manager.
I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston.
In the video, he says he spent 10 years in the military as a human resources and IT specialist. The U.S. Army confirmed he served in the regular Army and then the Army Reserves, saying Jabbar deployed to Afghanistan from February 2009 to January 2010 and ended his service at the rank of Staff Sergeant.
Allahu Akbar, huh? What a mess. Biden says that the suspect posted a video on social media saying he was inspired by ISIS. This is from NBC News.
President Biden today saying the FBI has been briefing him on the killer.
Mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill.
Amazing. And last but not least, the great white hope, Donald Trump, released a statement calling the incident an act of pure evil. This is from Fox News.
We just got a statement from President-elect Trump on the New Orleans attack. He says, quote, "When I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true.
Yeah.
The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has ever seen before. Our hearts are with all of the innocent victims and their loved ones, including the brave officers of the New Orleans Police Department. The Trump administration will fully support the city of New Orleans as they investigate and recover from this act of pure evil."
Amazing, right? Evil, pure evil. Human beings are evil. When I saw the press conference there in New Orleans, they had all this, it was a little motley crowd. They had the mayor, they had the so-called FBI representative, a black female. They had just everybody showed up. Want 10 minutes of fame. That's why they showed up. And it was reported, I don't know, I didn't hear any more about it, but somewhere I heard that this so-called FBI or whatever she was, a black lady, said that, oh, this was not a terrorist attack, something like that. And then they found out they had to recant that because she didn't know what she was talking about. But when I saw the governor and the representatives there in Louisiana, I'm like, oh my God. It was a full display of DEI. It was DEI at work. I mean, and I'm like, no wonder this happened in New Orleans. They have DEI. They have an old white woman for the police chief. Old white woman, look like grandma. And she said, I'm the police chief, and I'm the police superintendent thing. And she's like, we tried to fish that barrel, but that man went around it. They got an old white woman for police chief, and then a black woman for the FBI or something like that, and then another black woman for the mayor of New Orleans. It was just DEI everywhere. Everybody in there, DEI. I'm like, well, no wonder they picked New Orleans. Not the best qualified people, but the DEI people. It was a mess. I'm like, we're in trouble. New Orleans, you're in trouble. Because they have everybody DEI. Hake is coming in. We got to get to the super chats. I want to really catch up on those. It's been a while. And I want to go, in the meantime, to Brandon, a first-time caller out of Oklahoma. Brandon, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jesse, and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Brandon. Happy New Year to you.
I just had a quick question for some guidance. Just a quick background, if I may. I'm
Okay.
a 30-year-old male in a relationship with a single mother of 3. She's 36 years old. I've been with her for over a year now. Been pretty bumpy lately. I think it's due to miscommunication of, like, we're different cultures, and also just her not forgiving her ex-husband's adultery and, things of the past. I've told her about this, and I feel like in her life, her father and her ex-husband have let her down, so she kind of has felt the need to pick up the role as the male in the house. And I think that's why we're butting heads a lot. I believe she was put in my life. I believe God put her in my life. And but I don't know. Maybe maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. I guess my question is, am I doing what's correct being with a divorced woman, even though her husband committed adultery? I think in the Bible it says something about that being one of the reasons that's excusable. And am I doing what's right for the kid?
And how old is she?
She's 36 years old.
And you're how old?
30.
Have you been married before?
No.
And you have any children?
No.
And this woman been married before. She has 3 children, right?
Yeah.
And so can you give me an example of what's wrong right now, what's going on between the two of you?
Yeah. So basically, I tell her, right? I tell her, hey, listen, I don't feel comfortable sometimes with you not allowing me to take the lead, right? I mean, I'm Cuban, and just in my family, it's always been the males, as the head of the house.
Right.
And, and of course, the women after and the children after that, Jesus before me and God before that. So we always try to follow the order, but due to her, her father was an alcoholic. He's ever since he's been great. He's been good for over 20 years. And her ex-husband had put her through that. And that was her only marriage right out of high school. So that's the only man she's ever known since. After that, it's been me.
And why
according to her.
And why do you think? Are you living with her?
No, we live separately.
Oh, okay. How old are the children?
One is 16, the other is 10, and then one is 3.
Amazing. And so why do you think God would put her in your life?
She pushes me towards a better place when it comes to my relationship with God.
But how can she push you to your relationship with God when she's so evil?
Right. And
no, that was a question.
Well, yes. Basically, when even though we have our quarrels, she'll always remind me, hey, we need to work on our relationship with God. I think that if we fix that, then we won't have any issues, any little issues.
Why do you think God would give you an imperfect gift?
I don't think he would. I think.
So why would you think that this woman who's been married before, 3 children, one is 16, and you've never been married, you're younger than she is, she's all trouble, she got nothing but anger and trouble. Does that sound like a perfect gift?
No, it doesn't.
Why do you think God would give you an imperfect gift?
I believe it's his way of showing me that, if he can forgive me for my past, sins, then I could find it in my heart, to forgive others and accept others.
And that's true, but that doesn't mean you got to marry them. Why would God, think about this, Brandon, why would God give you a woman that's older than you? That's your mother. And she's never going to listen to you. You're the baby.
Yeah.
Why do you think God would give you a woman that's older than you?
I have no idea.
Where you get that idea from, that God, you believe she's from God? Did that idea come from God or somewhere else?
I can't tell for sure. All I know is in my life, times I've had the most issues, I found myself trying to control the situation. And only when I gave up that whole situation, almost immediately, it was like a relief and everything would fall into place. And that's how it happened. You know, I stopped trying to look for women, stopped trying to date. And I prayed, and almost immediately she came to my life.
And that's your problem. You should not have prayed for it. You don't need to ask God for those kinds of things. You need to just seek the kingdom of God its right way, and He will add to you. If you ask for a woman, you're gonna end up with the devil.
No, I said, hey God, if it's your will for me to lead a life of singleness, I'm fine with that.
You didn't even just say that to him either. You're praying to the devil. But let me ask this, because of time.
Yeah.
Why do you think God would give you a woman that's older than you?
I wouldn't think the age mattered, honestly.
It does matter, buddy. Because you're the head of the woman. You're never going to be the head of an older woman. Why do you think God, you've never been married, you haven't started your own family, why do you think God would give you a family that's already made and nothing but trouble? Why do you think God would give you that?
I wouldn't know. I'll have to think about that one. I'd have to pray about that.
What is there to pray about? The woman been married before. She's older than you. She has 3 children. You have no children. You've never been married before. Would God want you to start out in hell like that? And you're supposed to be the head of the woman. This woman older than you already have. Those kids are not going to like you either. You're not their father.
I guess a part of me is guilty because in my past, unfortunately, I was pretty young and I didn't make a right choice, and I had an abortion with another woman I was with, and I thought maybe this is, like him saying, hey, make up for that with this. You could.
Brandon, that's not, God doesn't operate that way at all. 0. Those words you're speaking are straight out of hell. God does not give you anything but good. He does not give you trouble. He does not give you bad things to try to prove anything to you. He doesn't do those things at all. None of those things are from God. This woman you're with is not from God. You should not be with her. You should not even seek anything but what is right. And if it's meant for you to be married, don't be asking God for a woman or, oh, God, if it's your will. Just work on staying present, and He will add unto you what would be. If you don't do that, you're seeking the woman pretending that you're seeking God. You can't fool God. You can't fool truth. You can fool yourself. But this woman is not from God. You should not be with her. It ain't nothing but trouble, and you're not ready for it.
Okay.
God has nothing to do with this at all. This woman is straight out of hell for you.
Okay. So, she should not be from God. I get that. But she can be maybe a woman of God, just not for me.
She's not a woman of God, because had she been a woman of God, she would not have got involved with you.
Okay.
She would have seen that was wrong. But so she's not from God. She's using you because you're so young and immature. She's going to play a game around you. She's going to work you and destroy you.
All right.
She's not a woman of God, Brandon, at all. 0.
Okay. I understand. Well, I appreciate that, Jesse.
I would highly recommend, do what you want, of course. You dump this woman so fast and make your head swim. Be done with her. Wish her well. Don't be angry at yourself or her, and then just seek what's right. Don't mean to seek the truth, but don't seek anybody or anything else but the truth. And that way God will order your life for you. And I want you to know God does not give you junk. He's not going to bring trouble upon you to try to make you see anything. That's not in God. That's only in hell. That's in Satan.
Okay.
And just because this woman quote the Bible doesn't mean she's from God. Because if she was of God, there's no way she would have gotten involved with you. It wouldn't have happened at all because she would be able to see. And she knows that she's older than you. She knows that you're blind and cannot see. She knows that you can't lead her. She's never going to listen to you. You're just a baby to that woman.
Right.
And getting involved with a married woman is like buying a used car. You're just buying somebody else's problems.
Right. Okay. So I guess that makes things pretty clear to me.
What's clear about that to you?
I misread the message. It wasn't from God.
But look, I don't even know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupt.
No, go ahead.
But how would you think that's from God? A married woman, 6 years older than you, with children?
Yeah.
Why would you think that's from God? Those thoughts are not even God's thoughts. Those are thoughts of evil. Satan gave you those thoughts.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. I could put a bunch of excuses, but I hear you loud and clear. You know, I listen to your show, and I kind of figured that'd be the answer I'd get. It's just you know, I know I could always pull away, and it's like the attachment to the children too. It's, you know, they accept me. They haven't given me any issues. They in a little bit of time, they respect me. And their father doesn't talk to them. You know, there is no relationship there.
You are not their father. You never will be their father, and they will dislike you for it.
Yeah, they resent me for it. Okay. All right, I got some decisions to make then.
And what decisions do you have to make?
Well, the decision to leave and live by God, not by my wants right now.
And you should not want for anything. That's why you ended up with junk. You're wanting for something.
Okay. So
you should only want the kingdom of heaven, man. You should only want what's right. Other than that, any other want that you have is going to be hell.
Okay. So I just got to have faith. You got to have faith if I want kids of my own or a family. I just got to look for the kingdom, and if it's for me, it'll be bestowed upon me.
Don't even want for kids. Don't want for a family. You're only supposed to want what is right. Only. You're only supposed to want the kingdom of heaven. You're only supposed to want a return to the Father. You're not supposed to be wanted for kids. You're putting that before God too. And Satan's going to give you what you want, and it's going to be hell.
How do you recommend I find out what's right?
That you drop your anger. You got to forgive your mother and your father, and God will forgive you. You got to do the silent prayer and stay present. Instead of living in your head, thinking about the past or thinking about the future, thinking that you know what you want, thinking that you know what you need, you got to drop all of that.
I've forgiven my mother. I've forgiven literally everybody in my family, anybody, all my friends, and I've experienced the most peace I ever had in my life. And then I met this woman,
and then Satan gave you the devil.
At times it feels like a little bit of hell.
It is hell. It is pure hell. You're walking. Satan didn't like the fact. He doesn't like the fact that you're working on yourself. He doesn't like the fact that you're at peace. He doesn't like that you're getting away from him. He doesn't like the fact that he has to depart from you if you continue to work on yourself. So he gave you one of his little demons, and he gave you that woman to distract you from the straight and narrow path. It has nothing to do with God. Zero.
Okay.
And just because that woman said, oh, we got to work on ourselves, we got to do this, you let her work on herself by herself. Let mama go, and you go back to working on you and stay with the silent prayer and stay present. And God, you will see and know that God is with you, and you don't have to want for anything. And whatever is meant to be, He will add it unto you. It'll be good and perfect. It'll be fine.
Okay. All right.
He's not going to give you some old woman, been married before with children. That ain't going to happen. That's not from God. And that emotion you feel for the children and for her is not love. It's all ego. You get a thrill out of thinking that, oh, these kids love me. They don't have their father. They have me. And this woman, you get a thrill. You've been deceived.
Yeah. It could be that.
It is that. And that's why you already see this woman is causing you problem already. Just imagine what happened if you move in with her. How much money have you given her already?
No, none at all.
Don't give her a dime.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So what do you think about the conversation?
I think you give me some insight into me having to work on myself. I definitely need that. I need to let go again and just let God take over.
Brandon, this woman is not for you. Number one, she's older than you. That alone should be a clue. Number two, she's been married before. That alone should be another clue. Number three, she has 3 children. Even the husband that she had couldn't even deal with her. She's full of hell. And the man that she had couldn't deal with her. That's why he left. But she's going to tell you, oh, he was just so bad. He beat me. He was this. He was that. He was such an horrible man. And you're going to be the rescue, and you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Sorry if you can't hear me too well. I'm like stuffed up, cold weather over here. But no, I get it. I see myself bumping too much into her, and then you're right. I'm thinking that's from God.
Brandon, I promise you, it has nothing to do with God. It's straight out of hell. I have no doubt about that. God would never give you that type of bad setup. If he wanted you to start a family, he's not going to give you that bad setup to start a family. And that's not even your family. That's already somebody else's family. That's another man's family. It's not even yours, and it never will be yours.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I have a talk to have with her later on.
I would dump this woman like a hot cake.
That's easy. It's easy to hear that. Well, yeah, that's what needs to be done.
But is it hard to do?
It feels like it might be hard to do.
Why?
Well, I guess feelings.
What?
You know, emotions. I guess emotions.
But emotions are evil, man. They're not your friend. This is why God doesn't want you to be emotional, because emotions come from thoughts, and they're straight out of hell, and they mislead you.
Yeah.
That emotion you feel is not love, it's hate. It's desperation.
Desperation. All right. All right, Jesse. Well, I appreciate it, Jesse. I know I got to make a move, and I got to make the right move this time.
Feelings are nothing more than just feelings, man. God is a dispassionate God. He's not a feeling God. Satan is a feeling God. Satan is a passionate God. Satan is a go-getter God. And it's nothing but trouble.
Nothing but trouble?
Nothing but trouble.
Yeah, I need to work on that silent prayer. I need to...
Why are you not doing it?
I was for a while, but I don't know, just inconsistent. I gotta get consistent with it.
This is why I say was able to get in and blind you with this woman. You're not staying present. You're going in and out of those thoughts, and you're believing one lie after another one. He gave you this woman, and he tell you, oh, it'll get better. Oh, poor her. She had a man that not treated her well. Or her daddy was bad. Her daddy wasn't there. All you're doing is listen to lies because you're not staying present.
Yeah, I need to stay present.
And you're going from one lie to another, from one setup to another one.
Yeah. I honestly don't mind having like a single life. Like I don't, it's not like a desperate want like that.
Well, then dump this woman without even realize, hey, it's the wrong one, and just work on yourself. Are you able to do that?
Yeah.
What?
All right, Jesse. Well, I appreciate everything you have, all the advice you give me and all the advice you put out there every day, honestly. Great show. Thank you.
I'm warning you, buddy. If you don't dump this woman, you're going to regret it.
All right. I know you hear it in my voice. I know.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
I will.
Okay,
I'll
bye.
follow up. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Hate news, not the fake news. Back in a moment.
Famous Amos bought our coffee. Beta babies. If we ever needed you, Lord, we need you now. Feliz Año Nuevo. Gracias.
Feliz Año Nada. Feliz Año Nada.
No.
What?
Feliz Navidad.
Oh.
Prospero Año y Felicidad.
Feliz Navidad.
That's an American song. Did you know that?
Feliz Navidad.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't know
It's
that.
Puerto Rican.
Oh. Puerto Rican don't like the Mexicans.
Yeah, and I'm claiming Puerto Rican is American in his case. Jose Feliciano.
Speaking of beta dads.
Yes.
Beta babies.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody mentioned it just now, right?
Yes.
USA Today. Beta babies born in the new year and for the 14 years following will make up the newest generations. Generation Beta. Generation Beta. USA Today. Babies. What? Oh, you put it quiet. Doesn't he have it? I'm talking about producing my ear.
Yeah, he has it.
He black. Okay, watch this soundbite about beta baby generation.
Okay.
Generation
If you have a baby that's going to be born in 2025, they will be part of a new generation known as Generation Beta. Members of Gen Beta will be born between the years 2025 and 2039, according to Australian social researcher Mark McCrindle. They'll be the children of younger millennials and older members of Gen Z. McCrindle says that Gen Beta will be experiencing the artificial intelligence and automation in almost every aspect of life, more so than any previous generations. And by the way, members of the new generation are expected to live into the 22nd century. Wow.
Something to think about, isn't it?
And they look beta.
They do. Just imagine they put a curse on the baby. What kind of baby did you have? What did your wife have? A beta? Beta baby. They're not even giving you a chance to make it. You already be known and see yourself as a beta.
Steeped in beta at birth.
So now when you guys get married, make children, y'all going to be having beta children.
I'm waiting 14 years. I have no beta baby.
You're going to have an income baby beta. Ain't that something?
What would it be? What would the next one be? Chai?
Would it be Charlie? Are they going like that? Alpha, beta, Charlie?
Yes.
No, it'll be pitiful.
Generation Charlie. I like it.
Generation pitiful. Because by the time they're done being beta, you can't nothing left but pitiful.
Gamma.
Hey, who doing this to the children? How did this come about? Who made up this idea of, let's call them millennials, Generation Z, Generation that, Generation that? Who made up this stuff?
The powers that be.
Meaning what?
The researchers and academics and liberal media. Because it was the boomers, they were the last normal worded thing. They didn't know what to call the people just older than me, so they just called them Generation X. And then they started to call us Y, and then they said, oh, you know what? They're millennials because they crossed the year 2000. We'll call them millennials. But that was Y, Generation Y. So then they said Generation Z. And now they're starting all over again into the Greek alphabet, Alpha, Beta. So there's Generation Alpha just older than those babies. And then it's Generation Beta.
But beta is like putting a curse on the children.
Yeah.
Babe!
I think it's a conspiracy.
You have a beta, baby. And the baby be like, I'm a beta. Back in a moment. I want to go to first-time caller, Joey, out of California. Joey, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, I heard you online saying Jesus is not God, and it made me ask a friend of mine about that, and that's always confused me. And I'm just unsure if he's God. He told me to read the Bible. I've been going to church, and I remember the part where Jesus goes in the woods or somewhere, the desert, I think, for 40 days, and he prays to God. So, I mean, I don't know. My buddy, he didn't really answer me. He told me, what do I think, and to read the Bible. But I know he thinks Jesus is God, and I'm inclined to think that as well. So I was just wondering what your thoughts are.
And why are you, and stay close to your phone, why are you inclined to think that he is God?
Ever since I was little, that's who my mom prayed to, Jesus, my grandmother. Just something that I never questioned.
But now that you're an adult, why haven't you questioned it?
Well, now I am. I am questioning now. That's what I'm calling.
And when have you read any portion in the Bible?
I have. I read the New Testament.
And in the Bible, does he say, my Father sent me, or did he say he came on his own?
I'm not sure.
In the Bible,
I've read.
In the Bible, does he say, my Father and I are one?
I thought he did, but I know that he refers to him as his Father, the Father.
So if he has a father, that means that he has to be the Son, right?
Right.
And if he's the Son, how can he be the Father?
I agree.
And so why would you think that he's God?
I just been told about the Trinity. I never questioned it until recently, and
Good.
I've been praying for answers, but we always pray in Jesus' name. That's how we pray. I don't know. I was wondering what do you pray to then? You pray to Jesus?
You pray to the Father. The Father sent the Son, and so if you believe the message that the Son brought you from the Father, you believe in the Father when you believe the Son by believing the message. And the message is you are free. You've been paid and bought for. The kingdom of heaven is within. Be of love and not of hate, and you'll be fine. That's the message. And that we all must return to the Father. Return back to the Father, and you do that by working on yourself and forgiving so that he can take over. Admitting that you're wrong for having anger. Anger is hatred. And anger separates you from the Father. And there's nothing in the Bible about Trinity. No such teaching as Trinity. That's made up too.
Okay.
And when Jesus went off to pray, he said, I'm going to pray to the Father. I'll be back. If he was going to pray to himself, why would he say, I'm going to pray to the Father?
Yeah, my buddy, he tells me it's all like, well, when I go to the church, they talk about they're the same, like, but they're different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that makes no sense to me at all. But
well, then I'm glad that it made no sense. So leave it at make no sense, and don't get in your head about it. And it will be revealed to you. And once you see it for yourself, no one can ever make you doubt it again.
Okay.
So have you forgiven your mother?
No, definitely not.
And why not?
I just have hatred.
So
I have hatred. That's a big issue. That's a huge issue that I have to get over.
But you're doing the right thing by admitting that you have it. But how will you get over if you don't go and forgive her?
I would like to. I was thinking about they're offering baptisms on my work, and I wasn't sure exactly what that meant. But I think it means being born again and making a declaration that you're going to live your life is like in a Christian way.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work?
No.
Okay.
You're not going to find one person who's gone through that and their life is working. That doesn't work. The only thing that's going to work for you is to admit that you're angry, which is evil. And when you can admit that, go and forgive your mother and your father, and God will forgive you. And he will take the spirit of anger away from you and draw you into the kingdom, and you will have an amazing life. But you got to face your mother. Why have you done that?
Because I said I hate her.
I know, but that's why you got to face her.
Yeah, I know. It's not worth it to hate somebody that much. But when I try to forgive her, it's craziness. It's just nothing but crazy.
Have you ever gone to her to apologize for resenting her? Admitted that you're wrong for resenting her. Doesn't mean it's right for what she's done, but you're separated from God by hating her.
I tend to think you're right on that one. So
because how will God forgive you if you don't go and forgive her?
I agree. I don't know. I mean,
no, that was a
one.
question.
That's probably the biggest one. It's a question. How is he going to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
that's my biggest issue right there. That's my biggest one. And I know you always talk about that, but that for me is probably the biggest hurdle I have to get over.
Why do you resent her so much?
I don't know, she gave me away when I was a kid and then came back in, and she's a drug addict. And she's still crazy. She lies all the time. I don't know.
How old are you?
Madness. I'm 46.
And why don't you just stop hating?
I would like to. Tell me how.
Why don't you stop?
I tried.
And do you want to hate?
No.
You don't? And
no, I do not.
Right. And your mother has the same problem. Her mother did it to her.
I don't know.
Her mother did it to her. That's why she wasn't able to take care of you, because she's filled with hatred, and she passed that on to you. She had no love to give you. Were you working or something?
Yeah, sorry, I am working.
Oh, okay. I won't hold you, but let me tell you, your mother could not help herself. And just as you can't help yourself, she could not help herself. And when you realize you can't help yourself, it will cause you to realize she couldn't help herself, and you would go and apologize for resenting her. Doesn't mean you got to hang out with her. You don't have to take care of her. But for you to go free, you must forgive her so that God can forgive you.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to try that. I really am. So I'm going to do it and see what happens.
It's shaking in your boots. You got to do it if you want to be free. And if she apologizes, fine. If she doesn't, fine. And she admits you're wrong, fine. If she doesn't. It doesn't matter her reaction. It's you working on you, because God said that before you can enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive, and I will forgive you. Don't ask your mother to forgive you. You forgive her. I'm sorry for resenting you, and God will forgive you, and you'll be fine.
I'll do it. I'll see what happens. Thank you.
Let me know how it goes.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Amazing. Tony is out of California. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Happy New Year, Tony.
Yeah, what's going on, Justin?
All is well, Tony.
All right, how you doing? I just got some comments I heard you make about the New Orleans attack and about what it got to do with our mayor. Our mayor ain't got nothing to do with what happened in New Orleans. I think stuff happens for a reason.
And it does, Tony. She's a black female.
Hold on, wait. Let me get everything on before you comment. I believe that giving everybody a chance. I believe in a code of it takes one to know one. That means you got to give everybody a chance, no matter what race, no color, or everything. Now, this person that came in from Texas, attempting to carry out a plot, and nobody knew where it was coming from. All of a sudden, it happened 3 a.m. All right? So, my question to you is, how you going to put that on the mayor?
Well, because according to the report, there's like these roadblocks that you're supposed to be putting up there to prevent anyone from getting into that. Those things were not ready. And,
okay, look, hold on, wait.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish.
All right.
Let me finish. And women were not created to lead. They were created to follow. And when you put a woman in charge, you're going to get an emotional person that has no idea what they're doing, because everything is based on what they think and what they feel, and their thoughts and their feelings are always wrong. And black people are not qualified or ready to run a state, a country, or a city, or anything. They can't even run their own neighborhoods.
Hold up. Okay. Okay, but look, what you just said right there, it ain't got nothing to do with being a woman. It ain't got nothing to do with a race. It ain't got nothing to do with being a race or being a woman.
Okay, let me ask.
You're qualified.
Let me ask you. Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing that the blacks have done. Tell me one thing, Tony.
Now, just you can't forget. You can't forget. Ever since we were born as babies, who was the first person to help take care of you as babies?
What?
Okay, when you was a baby, who was the person that took care of you?
My mama.
All right. So now you come to this day. Hold up. You come to this day now. Now you're putting down women that your mama did a hell of a job taking care of you. Now you want to put down a woman. How you can do that?
She's supposed to be at home taking care of the babies. That's her job. That's what she was created to do, Tony.
That's not true. That's not true.
Why do you say were women created to lead or to follow?
Both.
Were women created? No.
Do both.
Were women
A man
created?
gotta do both.
Were women created to lead or to follow?
Both.
Tony, let me ask you this. That's not true, but let me ask. Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing.
That's not true. Did you even read? I don't believe you did. I don't believe you did.
Tony. Tell me one thing.
Hold on, wait. So let's go back to my point now.
What?
Let's go back to my point, though. If women want to fight in the league, who led you from when you came out of the womb until you graduated high school? Who led you then?
Well, my mother and grandmother raised me, took care of me, but my daddy,
your mama and your grandmother,
my daddy. Hey, hold on.
That's a woman.
Hold on. But my daddy and my granddaddy taught me how to be responsible.
You know, and a woman had a part in that too.
But Ryan, where are you getting those things from?
That's what I know. That's a fact.
Ryan, how is that a fact?
It is a fact.
How is that a fact, Ryan?
Where you read that at then? That a man supposed to be a woman.
Ryan.
Where you read that at?
Ryan, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Ryan, where are you getting that from? Do you believe God when he said God in Christ? Christ over man, man over woman. Do you believe God?
I have never read that. I never read that.
So have you ever read the Bible?
I never read that out the Bible.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm here.
One quick question.
What part of the Bible is that from?
Don't worry about it. You never
Tell
read
me where it is.
Hold on.
Where's that from?
Let me ask you a quick question because of time.
Hold on, wait. I asked you a question now.
Right.
Where did you get that in the Bible?
Ryan.
Where is that?
So
what chapter is in?
So let me ask you this. Right. Let me ask you this. Tell me one thing that the blacks have done to make America better.
Tell me one thing that the whites have done to make America better.
Go to the moon, create amazing cities and towns, and create jobs. So Tony, not Tony, but Ryan, tell me one thing the blacks have done to make America better, and you think this woman, that those people in New Orleans can make New Orleans better. Tell me one thing.
How we get on the color thing now?
Because you call about that black mayor of New Orleans.
How we get on the color thing?
Right.
We talking about people in general, are we?
Right.
So how we get on the black or white thing?
Right.
I'm not even on that level right now. I'm talking about people in general.
So let me ask.
Let's talk about people in general.
Right.
Because I can tell you this, though. Ain't nobody could be a bigger fuck up. Could be a bigger mess up. I'm sorry, Curse. I'm sorry about that. Ain't nobody can mess up Mexicans better than you.
Right.
Than what you call a great white hope.
The great white hope. Ryan, let me ask. So your name Tony or is it Ryan or Tony Ryan?
Tony Ryan.
Excuse me, y'all.
So let me ask you this,
I
though.
can't play
Let me
no
ask
more.
you
I
this.
gotta run now. Call me again, buddy. I'm looking at the clock now. You messing around. What the? First, I gotta ask. You know they had a terrorist attack, right? According to all the reports in New Orleans. Not surprised. Look who's running New Orleans. Unqualified people. White people. You have turned your country over to people who have no clue what they're doing. First of all, women were not created to lead. You turn it over to the women. Secondly, you turn it on to people who are not qualified. These people can't even keep a hood safe. How are they going to keep a country safe? Think about that. They can't even keep the hood safe. And you're giving up your country to them. You have no one to blame but yourself. And it's going to get worse. I want you to know it's going to get worse. Yes, I believe and hoping that Trump make things better as far as stronger military. Hopefully he'll bring back the cops, shut down the borders, bring jobs back, lower the taxes, regulations, all these restrictions be taken away. But it's going to get worse because human heart is wicked and no good in human beings. They are evil. All human beings are evil, except for those who have admitted to that they are evil and are overcoming it. And that's a few, a handful. And my country is not going to get better. It's just not going to get better. At the same time that they were dealing with the terrorist attack in New Orleans, it's being reported that in New York City, there was a protest. Can you imagine that our government, the U.S. government, allow all these people to come into our country, and they are here, and now they can chant death to America and death to Israel on the American soil, and nothing is being done about it. Death to America. We didn't invite them here, at least I didn't, the government may have. And they're chanting death to America on American soil, and nothing's being done. And they still don't want to shut down the borders. While at the same time, it's being reported that we're having terrorist attack happening. And then, and the cities that they're happening in are mostly being controlled by non-qualified people. They don't know how to do it. Well, I don't know why white people think that black people can run a city or state when they can't even run their own hood. Tell me something good that the blacks have done. I'll wait. And it made the country better. I'll wait. I'm waiting. I keep waiting. Waiting for the Lord to come. I keep on waiting. Tell me something that the blacks have done to make America better, or even made it good, or made it better, or improved upon it, that you think they can run a state, a city, a town, or a country. Tell me something. You put these people in charge of. Thank you. I'm waiting. I keep waiting. Waiting for the world to change. Keep on waiting. It's not going to change. Hello, it's only going to get worse. If you doubt me, look at Africa. The white people gave Africa over to the black, and look what happened. It didn't get better. It got worse. And it is worse. And it's getting worse. Same thing in America. Don't we supposed to learn from our mistakes or learn from other people's mistakes? Well, the whites are not learning in the USA. New York Post is reporting that hundreds of anti-Israel protesters gathered in Times Square on New Year's Day, waving Palestinian flags and calling for Intifada revolution. I don't know what Intifada means, but it sure don't sound right. Take your Intifada back to your country. No Intifada here. On the same day, a terrorist came out. On the same day, a terrorist carried out a deadly car attack in New Orleans. Watch this from X. They want a fada. Intifada. Intifada, a fada is a fada. In the United States of America. And the borders are wide open. And you think things are going to get better? How can they? They're chanting that stuff in the United States of America. That's not in a foreign country. I know it looks like a foreign country, but it's not. I would recommend that you overcome fear about working on yourself. You as an individual man or woman, you got to work on you to overcome fear if you want to be able to live on this earth in peace. Because it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I'm warning you. You got to start living from within. The kingdom of heaven is within, right here, right now. Not over there. What you're doing over there, well, you should be over here. It's right here, right now. And you can have peace in spite of the hell that's happening on this earth, because human nature is evil. Human beings are evil. They have no love. They're evil. They must be born again. Must return to the Father. And while they're in New York carrying on, there was a Tesla cyber attack in Las Vegas. And according to the report, it exploded in front of Trump Hotel. The Great White Hope Hotel. Of all the hotels to explode, you don't want to explode into the most beautiful hotel in town. What the? This is from Fox News. A Tesla cyber attack exploded nearly. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. A Tesla Cybertruck exploded nearly 20 seconds after pulling up to the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas on Wednesday morning. The truck, Bourbon Street suspect drove. I can't. Somebody. This is worse than I could have written it. Let me figure it out. Okay. The truck. It says here. I'm gonna read it as it's here. The truck the Bourbon Street suspect drove was rented from the car rental company Turo, as was the Cybertruck that burst into flame in Las Vegas. Watch this from CBS.
Now, Las Vegas officials are investigating another possible terrorist attack after Tesla's Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel. Surveillance video captured the moment it happened. The sheriff's office says the rental car arrived in Las Vegas around 7:30 this morning. The driver went up and down Las Vegas Boulevard before they pulled into Trump Towers. It sat there less than 20 seconds before exploding. Now, that driver died and 7 others were hurt. Police found firework mortars and camp fuel canisters stuffed inside. The Las Vegas Sheriff's Office says they learned the truck was rented in Colorado using Turo, the same rideshare app used to rent the pickup truck involved in the Bourbon Street attack. It's not clear at this hour whether these incidents are related just yet.
Amazing, huh? That Tesla truck is tough, though, because it was the type of material it's made from. They explode, didn't even blow out the hotel door windows or anything because it was contained in the truck, which is abnormal. How can it get better, folks? Our borders are wide open. People are coming in from around the world, not checked, not verified, nothing. Just walking in, invited by our government. The people that hate us are coming in. How can it get better? I want to know. How can it get better? It's not. Our country, my country, is quickly becoming a third world country. And you vote for a government that is against you and not for you. You vote for them just because you're a Democrat, or just because they're a Democrat, or even a right or Republican. Republican write-ins are no different. They are just like the Democrats. They're not your friend. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Colorado and talk to Stanley. Let's see here. Stanley, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Stanley.
Okay, my question, or one of them is, if Adam only knew what was right, then why did he listen to Eve and eat the apple?
Because he decided he wanted to be his own guy, make his own decision, and she had convinced him that you could be your own man. You don't have to listen to your daddy. And he believed it. And that's what happened when you believe lies.
Right, but if he only knew what was right, then why did he get swayed so easily? If he only knew what God wanted him to know.
When you say it so easily, what do you mean? How easy was it?
I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't there, but it seems pretty easy according to the Bible. It was kind of like, hey, let's do this thing, and he just jumped on board and ate the apple and was doomed, right?
No, for a while he not only did he tell Eve to stay away from Satan, she didn't just walk up to him and he like, oh, okay, let me do it, right? Let me try it. And she convinced him after a while that he could be his own God. Because, and you're right, he only knew good. And because he only knew good, there was no such thing as doing bad, doing wrong. But once he believed the lie, he then knew good and evil. And that's what's wrong with human beings today. They know good and evil, so they think that they are God. But she didn't just he didn't just fall for it right away.
So even with somebody who only knows what's right, it's still possible to be swayed to evil, to be persuaded.
When you only know what's right, you cannot be persuaded. Now you'll be tempted to be it, but you won't fall for it.
But Adam was, though, wasn't he?
Right.
He was persuaded, and he only knew it was right. So
he decided he wanted to be his own God. That's why it happened. So let's say that you work on yourself, right? And then you overcome evil and you only know what's right. Your nature is going to change back to only being right. It would not be in your nature to be wrong or do wrong. So if it's not in your nature, you can't do wrong. But let's say somewhere down the road you decide, you know what, I want to be my own God. You believe the lie from someone else or the imagination. You can go back to hell if you want. God's not going to force you to stay with him.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
God doesn't force us to love him, right? Because forced love is not love. You got to freely love him. You got to want to love him. That's why he only helped those who open themselves up to be helped, who welcome the truth to come in. He doesn't help anyone that doesn't invite him in.
Right. And I guess to that, if we don't have free will, then how do we that part kind of gets to me still. How we don't have free will, but then we also must accept and willingly return to God.
You don't have to return. You can stay in your hell.
But isn't that free will though? They're remaining in hell deliberately. Isn't that us making a choice?
Hold on. That? Can you hold for me, Stanley?
Yeah.
Let me take a quick break. All right.
All right.
I want to go back to Stanley. He's asking a very interesting question as to if Adam had perfect happiness or perfect peace, why did he only knew good? Why did he listen to Eve, and then now he know good and evil? And that is the problem with human beings. They now know good and evil, and because they know good and evil, they think they know right from wrong. They play God. And so Stanley sounded like he want to understand that. Why did that happen? And Stanley, I was thinking about your question during the break. Mm-hmm. And what I want you to know, and I want to use the word, I don't know what word I want to use because people are so lame and they'll misread it. If you want to overcome evil right now, you want to only know good and no longer be associated with evil, you can. And the way you do it, because God is not going to force you to do it. He's made the way. The road is wide open for you to get on it and just go your way, right? Well, straight and narrow. But you have to see that something is wrong with you. You know, like for me, I realized I had no perfect peace, and I heard you should have peace if you know God. And I realized something was wrong, so I started to question, what is wrong with me? Why can't I have peace? And then questioning it, things start to open up for me. So, for sake of communication, I don't know if you can call that free will, or you realized something was wrong with yourself, but you just didn't know why, and you started to question, and when questioning, you were able to see. I don't know. I mean, if you want to call that will, you can, but you can't will yourself to be right, but you can question that something is wrong with you, and you want something better.
All right. I'll have to give that one some thought, I think.
Because you cannot even begin the journey of being free until you can recognize that something is wrong. You know, I'm lonely, right. I'm sad, I'm depressed, I have anger, I don't know who I am. You know, when you start to question, that's when you can see. But once you question, you will see, but it's still not you that's making the change. The change is being made for you.
So, well, that's more confusing then. How is it being made for you if you're the one recognizing that something's wrong?
Because we can't change our nature. We can't change ourselves. It's a spiritual thing, right? And so unless we recognize something's wrong and then don't try to resolve it, don't try to fix it, recognizing, which is from God, will also change it for you. He would change it for you. But if you see something is wrong with yourself, you're having these thoughts and you're feeling a certain way, or you're afraid, or you're lonely, or you're angry. If you try to fix that, you're going to only get worse. But if you can see that something is wrong and do nothing about it, but see it, then you'll get better. You'll become free.
And that's when God would come in and take care of it for you, right? 100%. He would be the one to show you the way.
100%.
Oh, okay. I think I'm following now. All right, then I have one more quick question. In church on Sunday, you ended with talking about perfect happiness.
Yes.
And I want to know if that's the same thing as perfect peace, or if one goes to the other.
Yeah, It's the same thing. And perfect happiness, perfect peace is the same thing. And in perfect happiness, perfect peace, there is no emotions. It's not an emotional thing at all. That emotional, quote unquote, happiness or that emotional so-called peace is not peace.
Right. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I had, Jose. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy. Oh, amazing. Some of you may have heard about these prison officers. They're in trouble, according to this report. So, according to NBC News, New York Attorney General Letitia James, remember her? What a mess. A nasty woman, nasty female, just evil, nasty to the core. The woman that hates Trump, I believe, hate Trump. But anyway, New York so-called Attorney General Letitia James released a new body camera video on Friday of prison officers fatally beating Robert Brooks, an inmate at Marcy Correctional Facility in New York, as part of her investigation into the death. Watch this from NBC News.
Death of an inmate at a prison in New York after he was beaten by corrections officers. Today, New York's Attorney General released body cam video and called what happened shocking and disturbing. Here's Sam Brock, and a warning, this video is graphic.
Newly released shocking video shows these correctional officers fatally beating an inmate, Robert Brooks. The footage, blurred and redacted by state authorities, shows officers repeatedly kicking and punching Brooks in the legs and chest and trying to jam an object down his throat. New York's Attorney General says Brooks was pronounced dead December 10th, a day after these interactions with correctional officers was recorded.
I do not take lightly the release of this video.
James says the video doesn't have audio because the officers involved failed to properly activate their body cameras. It begins with Brooks being carried inside, handcuffed and face down. He's then raised up, face bloodied, and punched in various parts of his body. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence for stabbing his girlfriend. His attorney says his death is incomprehensible.
Amazing. Amazing. And so, as a result, according to NBC News, there are growing outrage after officers beat a handcuffed inmate who later died. He did. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, another mess, evil female. It's amazing how these people in charge of New York, or anywhere really. Anyway, Kathy Hochul said the system failed the inmate and announced a new superintendent at the prison in upstate New York. This is from NBC News.
Growing outrage and the shakeup tonight at New York's Marcy Correctional Facility. New pictures showing Governor Kathy Hochul visiting the prison just days after the state released disturbing video of officers fatally beating 43-year-old Robert Brooks, his son Robert Jr. speaking out at a demonstration Monday night.
His killing must be a catalyst for change. Justice must be served.
Governor Hochul writing in a statement, the system failed Mr. Brooks as she announced several reforms, naming a new prison superintendent, rushing $400 million for more cameras at correctional facilities across the state, and hiring an outside firm to conduct reviews across the system. Tonight, Brooks' family attorney Elizabeth Mazur responding on camera for the first time.
What does the family think about what has been announced so far by the governor?
You know, I think those are important steps. Significant change needs to happen.
The governor says 13 individuals have been suspended without pay. Another has resigned as an investigation is underway.
Mr. Brooks was a person who deserved an opportunity to serve his debt to society and come out a better man.
And New York's Department of Corrections is now requiring that officers activate their body camera during any interaction with inmates.
Amazing. One thing about the blacks, they will protest for the wrong things. They get together somehow or another. They show up for what's wrong, but they never show up for what's right. Have you noticed that? How they organize like that? You know what I mean? Amazing. Also, it looked like those, I don't know what happened there, and you can never trust these cameras because people do whatever they want with videos nowadays. they can make it look like whatever they want it to look like. So I don't know. But it appeared that all the officers was white, and they had to know in advance that beating, quote unquote, a black man is over for you. You're going down. White people don't have a chance in their own country today in America. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if the video is, but you know how they mess up videos, do what they want with them. But they had to know white men beat up on a black guy. Oh, what now? This was like for the haters of white people. This is like milk and honey for them. It's amazing. So I don't know what happened there, but I do know the fact that it appeared that the guy was black, and the people who were beating him, quote unquote, you told Hobbo to beat me all my life. I've been beat by men. Those white people don't have a chance. I guarantee if it was black guys beating up on a white guy in the same manner, same thing, same camera, same everything, it wouldn't be even mentioned. It would barely be mentioned on the news, and it'll be over with. Amazing. No justice, no peace. 888-7753-773. First time caller out of Indiana, Corey. Corey, welcome to the show and Happy New Year.
Hey, what's going on, Jesse?
All is well, Corey.
Man, I got one question before I start.
Yes, sir.
Are you crazy?
Am I crazy?
Yeah, are you crazy?
Yes.
All right, that explains it, man. Because why would you cheer for the police, whether they black or white, on killing this man, Robert Brooks?
Why would I do what now?
Why would you cheer for the police? You heard what I said. You heard it.
What do you mean cheer for the police?
You rooting them on, Jesse.
How's
and
that?
You disrespecting this man, this father that got killed. Talking about he dead.
He
That
did.
what you did.
I think
He did.
Right. I think the report said that he was dead.
Yeah, I know the report said he was dead, Jesse.
But what do you mean by I said he dead?
So no, I know you know what you meant. You meant he did.
I know, but I was only repeating what the report said.
Oh no, you wasn't just repeating. That was your ad lib, Jesse. That was your ad lib.
Right. I said he did.
Yeah, he did. So listen, Jesse, I got a question. What do you think that his family ought to do with somebody that taunts they people's death?
What the black guy family should do about what happened to their son, the man?
No. What should Robert Brooks' family do to the police and the other people who taunt his death?
I have no idea what they should do.
You don't know? Whoa,
I can
stop,
tell
stop,
you.
stop.
I can tell you what
You got all
they
the
should.
answers?
I can tell you what they should not do.
What shouldn't they do, Jesse?
They should not gather these other angry blacks and have this fake protest where these people pretend that they care about this man being dead and no justice, no peace, and all that crap. They should, if they need a lawyer, get a lawyer, look into it and see what they can do. But they need to stop all this protest crap. That's not solving anything because there's not one person out there protesting with them that care about the man that was allegedly killed.
Okay, so
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. Protesting ain't gonna solve nothing.
Right.
But so let me ask you this, which I want to know what you think about this. What do you think about the police killing Robert Brooks? Do you think that was right or wrong?
I don't think it was right or wrong because I don't know the details.
Okay, you don't know the details. Didn't you show the video? I watched the video.
Do you think it was right or wrong?
I think it was wrong.
Why?
Because they're supposed to. One of their duties is to protect the inmates in the prison.
But how do you?
And they had him subdued, so there's no need to beat him and choke him and kill him.
But why do you say it was right or wrong? You don't know all the detail. You were not there. You didn't see the beginning of the video. You didn't see.
It don't matter, Jesse. It don't matter the beginning of the video. It's his job to protect life.
How can you make a decision whether it's right or wrong when you don't know what happened?
I do know what happened.
No, you don't. You saw the beginning of the video?
No, it don't matter about the beginning of
So
the video.
why
Jesse. That's what I'm
not?
trying to
How
explain
can
to
you make a
Jesse.
decision without seeing the whole thing?
Because I've seen what they did.
No.
They had him subdued. Once he was subdued, anything after that is wrong, Jesse. He was subdued already.
How can you make a decision without seeing how the whole thing started?
Okay, before I asked you, you did say you was crazy, but now I'm convinced you retarded because I just answered your question 3 times, Jesse.
How can you make a decision without seeing how the whole thing started?
Because God gave me common sense.
But if God had given you common sense, you would be making a decision whether it was right or wrong, and you weren't there.
No. God did give me common sense, and I just made the right decision.
I
don't have to be there. I've seen it on camera.
How is it common sense to make a decision about something that you don't know how it began or truly how it ended? You don't know if that video...
How it ended? Whoa.
You don't know...
We don't know how it ended.
Right. You don't know if that video is real or somebody tampered with it or anything. You're just assuming.
I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Am I wrong about
Well,
that?
guess what?
Am I wrong about
when
that?
I assume, yeah, you're wrong. So
How am I wrong about that?
I made a ASS out of you and me, didn't I? you like that, don't you? Listen, man.
But how?
Listen.
Because of time, Corey. How can you make a decision? You weren't there. You don't know if the video was tampered with or not. You don't know what happened to start the whole thing. Why not just leave it as I don't know?
Okay, this is why, Jesse. One, let's hypothetically say that your people did tamper with this video. They released the video for a reason, for public opinion.
No, I asked you a different question. Why not just leave it as I don't know? What would happen? What would happen
because
to
I do
you?
know.
What would happen to you if you just realized you don't know?
No, I realize that I do know what happened.
But you don't know. You were not there. You don't know.
The camera was there, Jesse.
Corey,
the camera
you were
was
not there.
So,
people do
I got
things.
a question then.
People, Corey, call me again, but I gotta take a break. Hate news, not the fake news. Thank you, Corey. Back in a moment. 1 more hour to go. I remember there was a day where there were no transgenders. Do you remember that? There was no transgenders. If there were, we didn't know about it. I'm sure there were some, but you just didn't know about it. So men kind of dressed in dresses for a long time. But they hid away with it in the right way. They should have. But according to ABC 7, a convicted criminal who identifies as a woman and served time at the women's prison somewhere in California, Chowchilla, California, is charged with raping a fellow inmate. But the fellow inmate was a female inmate. Isn't that amazing? Madera County judge ruled 52-year-old state prison Tremaine Carroll must be referred to with she, her pronouns because Carroll identified as a woman. So Carroll just said he is a woman. He didn't change his body part. He didn't change anything. He just said he is a woman. Watch this from ABC 7.
A Madera County judge ruled this week 52-year-old state prisoner Tremaine Carroll must be referred to with she, her pronouns because Carroll identifies as a woman. But the district attorney believes the defendant is abusing the system.
This is a person who's not a woman in any sense of the word.
In March, DA Sally Moreno charged Carroll for rape allegedly committed while incarcerated at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla.
After his first cellmate became pregnant and was moved to Los Angeles, 2 other cellmates of his complained that he had raped them. So we have filed rape charges against this inmate.
Moreno says the ruling regarding pronouns impacts her ability to prosecute the case.
This is a particular issue in this case because it's confusing to the jury. In California, rape is a crime that has to be accomplished by a man.
This Tremaine guy, he didn't even shave his mustache. He just said he's a woman. He ain't even bother shaving. What the? He changed nothing. Look at that. He ain't even shave. and they put him in a women's prison. At least make him shave. Look, he up there making babies like now they going north. He said he's a woman. Now he's a woman prison. I bet a whole lot of men ain't gonna say they're a female. If that's all you gotta do. The man didn't even shave. What the? But that's the world. That is another example of hell on earth. You worried about dying and going to hell? You're already in hell. What the? Wake up. You need to wake up. You're in hell. And that way you can walk out of hell. There's a Senate Bill 132 allows Carol, a biological male, to serve time in a female facility. Why is this from ABC 7?
Carol was allowed to serve time in a women's prison despite being a biological male because of Senate Bill 132, the Transgender Respect Agency and Dignity Act, which took effect in 2021. It allows inmates to be housed with the gender they identify as. The CDCR website points out state law prohibits discrimination based on gender identity.
There's no psychological evaluation that needs to be done. This person doesn't need to be on cross-gender hormones. They don't need to be signed up for transgender surgery. They don't even need a significant psychological evaluation regarding gender confusion. The mere statement is enough.
The CDCR has since relocated Carol to Salinas Valley State Prison for men. We reached out to CDCR about the case. They sent us a statement about Senate Bill 132, adding that they thoroughly investigate all allegations of sexual abuse, but they do not comment on cases in current litigation. Moreno says Carol fired the defense attorney handling the case and has chosen to move forward with self-representation in court. Carol's next court date is set for January 14th.
What a mess! Hell on earth. It's just hell on earth, that's all. Welcome to hell. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Ryan out of New Orleans. Ryan, welcome to the show and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jeff. How you doing?
All this well, Ryan.
Okay. My biblical question, my answer to the biblical question is, I think our persons do have character.
And what is it?
I mean, my character spreads love and happiness wherever I go.
Okay. I appreciate that. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
Okay. And my comment was this New Orleans attack. How can we stop and put it in all the act of terrorism and killing amongst one another, black or white? How can we stop this? Because only God knows. I think only God knows what's going to happen.
Well, all the way you can stop it, you have to change. Humans have to change their hearts. Humans have to stop being angry. And once their hearts are changed from hate to love, then they can lay their weapons down. There will be no killing, no wars or anything. And until that happens, and if that happens, which it won't for most people, they need to shut our borders down. We need a stronger military. We need to get rid of the DEI people, because those people in New Orleans, they are not fit. They are not prepared to run that city, and that's why that city is out of control as well. They have dumb people. They have dumb people running a city.
I will totally disagree with you.
What?
Totally disagree. I totally disagree.
What? About what?
About what you just said. I totally disagree.
And why?
Because you don't know New Orleans and you don't know what kind we have. And my thing is,
I saw those people.
You can't wait. You saw them. I know you saw them, but you can't put a label on what you saw. So what you saw. And what's your take on them? What you saw?
They had an old white woman as police chief. What the? And then there was black women as mayor. And then one black woman is supposed to be a so-called FBI or something like that. She like, that wasn't a terrorist attack. And then they had to come back and say, yes, it was.
Yes,
and then they were supposed to put up block these block things to keep people going down the road.
Yes, sir.
They didn't even put those up.
Yes, sir.
Those are
Yes,
dumb
sir.
people.
Jesse.
What?
Did you see the report on the news?
What?
Did you even see the report?
Yes.
Okay, now what did you see?
I saw a dumb bunch of losers running
No.
Louisiana.
No. If I tell it, I'm gonna tell it right to you. So we had all kinds of security guards out there, right? And then we got 3 barricades that's gonna stop traffic from going in, and then we got a team of police officers right at the top.
But
the
they
young
had
man that came in,
the barricades wasn't there. That's why they had a police car.
The
Remember?
barricades was up.
Right.
The barricades
they had
was
a
up.
police car there to cover the little space, and the guy went around. Hold on, right. Hold on.
Let me tell it right to
Hold
you.
on. And he went, according to the report, he went around the police car. The people didn't even put the barricade up. And I heard a report last night, I believe. The police said, the police chief, an old white woman, I didn't know we had the barricade. They haven't even put them up. She didn't know they had them, according to the report.
I'm telling you right now, because I was out there that night. I was working that night. But I happened to get up at 10:30. I was watching everybody and just having a good time before I got off work. Now, I'm going to tell you again, the barricade was up. But, like I said, because of the young man that drove around, even though we had a team at the top, protecting the people that was having a good time now, he came in with the truck and drove around the barricades and got in.
No, he drove around the police car. He drove around. He
drove around everything. He drove around the security thing. He drove around that.
The police car, yeah, according to the report, yes.
Yeah,
let me ask you. You live in New Orleans, right?
We had a sense of security that was right there.
Right.
But he drove around it and
a
determined to get
sense
in.
of security.
As a matter of fact, he almost killed people on both sides of the corner where people were standing at, and still got in somehow, some way.
Right.
Yeah.
You live in New Orleans, right?
I sure do.
And are you happy with the mayor being a black female? The so-called police superintendent is an old white woman. The governor or whatever is a female. The so-called FBI a female. And we beta males standing around them. Is there any place in the United States where black people are successful at running a city?
I got to turn that question around to you.
No, you need to answer. No,
I'm going to answer your question.
Not if you turn it around.
I'm happy with it. I'm very much happy with it, yes. I'm very much happy with it.
Did you vote for the black female as for mayor?
Yes, I did.
What the?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm happy with it. But guess what, though?
Why are you happy with her? She's no good.
Hold on, wait. You voted your boy in.
Huh?
That couldn't do. Hold on, wait. You voted your boy in that couldn't do 2 consecutive terms. He got stopped. So the only one that did that was Obama. In my book. But you call him a fallen messiah.
Right.
And guess what? You're trying to put your 2 cents in, but you don't know much.
I don't know much about history.
You don't know much about nothing.
I don't know much about algebra, but I do know Obama is a fallen messiah.
You don't know nothing. You're a fallen messiah.
Brian, call me again. I can't play, and that's enough. Super chat, because of time.